Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what I want to do is drive both of these cars back to back. Reason being is I want to show the difference between an old slipping SST gearbox in the black one and I don't want to say freshly new rebuilt, but a 50,000 kilometer old rebuilt SST in the red one. So both cars have high kilometers, but yeah, my car having 180,000 kilometers on the factory SST has never been touched other than servicing, whereas this one with 205,000 kilometers has had a rebuilt SST from AK Racing with new OEM clutches. And yeah, they are very different to drive. I figured it's almost time to get my SST rebuilt on the black one, so I should probably make this video showing the differences, as this would be very handy if you are test driving one of these cars, just to sort of see how it should drive and how it shouldn't drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both out, put the GoPro on my head, and film some pulls and a few shifts through the gears, see if I can catch the slipping SST in my car, which shouldn't be hard, and yeah, show you that the red one just shifts perfectly every time, which is how they should be. Also, another problem I have with mine is taking off on hills. It really doesn't enjoy it. It sort of struggles and shudders a bit. So I'm going to set up a camera and sort of show you how that sort of works in each car, how the red one will just take straight off and the black one will kind of struggle a little bit on a hill start. But yeah, so with that said, just wanted to put in now just to make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Evo 10 videos like this and you'd like to support me and the content I make. Would really be appreciated. But yeah, with that said, let's jump into one of the cars, go for a little drive and see if we can catch some clutch slip. So we'll start off in my black Evo 10. Okay guys, so heading off in my car first. I'm just going to do all the driving in manual mode and super sport mode. So if you have the Ralliart that only has sport mode, it's not going to be quite as aggressive of a shift, but still you should understand what the slip feels like. But so as you can see, this car with just under 180,000 kilometers, it shifts pretty good. When you're just sort of cruising like this, sort of staying off boost, it mostly just shifts perfectly. But it's as soon as you give it a little bit of boost or going uphill or taking off that you really start to realize that it is struggling a little bit more, especially when comparing it to Letitia's Evo 10 MR or to her old Ralliart as well. Those weren't too bad, but the SST is at around 52 degrees at the moment, which is warm enough to hit some boost. I don't like to do sort of wide open throttle till we're at about 60 degrees, but yeah, 53, so it's climbing pretty fast. So downshifts I never have a problem with, to be honest. So I'm in 5th at the moment, so we'll downshift to 4th, so it's instant, back to 3rd, instant. So it's mainly just upshifts and taking off where my car is struggling. So if you're driving an SST for the first time, or you just want to know if yours is sort of how it's holding up, this will be helpful. I don't get slipping often where I'm just driving in a gear and I'm just driving along in the gear and not changing gears and it just starts to slip like in a manual. I haven't had that yet. I know that will probably happen eventually. But yeah, mine seems to be just mainly with gear changes. So I'll keep driving and I will pull onto the motorway, and that's where I kind of will notice it the most. Alright, so I'm going to take off in first. So that actually didn't slip, but it wasn't as sort of good as it used to be. So normally coming up that hill onto the motorway, it's not much of a hill, but normally I will get a bit of slip. So yeah, that actually wasn't too bad that time. I wasn't wide open throttle because I've only just hit 60 degrees SST temp now. So I wasn't going all out, it was just sort of, I don't know, around about half throttle or a third throttle probably, but still letting it hit boost, revving to about 4,000. So yeah, not too bad. I will try and get a bit more, but now that it's warmed up, we'll do a couple of pulls, and I really want to get to a small hill and just sort of set the other camera up behind the car, as well as this one that I'm recording with at the moment, and to sort of show you taking off from a stop on a hill, what that is like with each car, because yeah, it's a big difference, and something that I'm really looking forward to not having to deal with once I do get my SST rebuilt. Alright, so setting up this spare GoPro on a bit of a hill here. I'm just going to try and take off out of this driveway. Okay, so dead stopping on this, it's not even a steep hill, but the slight hill. Super sport mode and manual, and so if I just want to take off, you'd assume it would just roll forward as soon as I accelerate. But you heard just how much that had to sort of rev for the clutch to engage. I'll just roll back, do it again. So take my foot off the brake, go straight to the accelerator and just lightly accelerate, but you'll hear it rev. I'll try and look down so you can kind of see the gauge, and now it starts moving. So that's not normal, shouldn't be doing that. Let's be fixed. So just one more time, bending right down, hopefully you can see the gauge. So letting go of the brake, accelerator. So yeah, alright, so 69 degrees for the SST. Pulling onto the motorway, let's see how we go. So I'm just going to put it into second and then we'll go. So again, really not too bad. Usually is a lot worse. The one day actually kind of want my clutches to slip. It's behaving its best, which is always the way. But you can see that, hopefully you can tell, those gear changes, they were not super sport fast. That's not how it should be changing. They were, yeah, pretty slow. It didn't slip badly, but they were pretty slow gear changes. So in the red Evo now with the better SST, shouldn't say fresh, but better. So taking off, so that's first to second, third to fourth. You may notice that it really sort of, I guess, bucks hard when you shift under light throttle. So this is on purpose. This is done in the tune so that it sort of prolongs the life of the clutches. This car's running a decent amount of power for the OEM clutches. So Alan at AK Racing has done a tune and sort of really made like aggressive shifts or clamping for the SST. As yeah, the previous owner of this car did do a lot of sort of quarter mile sessions, and yeah, he's managed to keep the clutches in one piece doing so. But so here we go. It is a massive difference straight away, and that's just like a third throttle. One thing I probably shouldn't have done, which I did mention when I was driving my car, but today both cars were basically empty, fuel wise, and so I put just pump fuel in my car as it is on flex fuel, as I'm just going to be commuting it to work for the next few days, so I didn't really feel the need to put E85. And then this car's just on a single map of E85, so obviously that's what it got. But what I didn't think about was the extra 40 kilowatts, 35 to 40 kilowatts that my car makes on E85. That's probably what's causing the clutches to slip more. So they weren't slipping as bad as they sometimes do. Yeah, which is probably because it's making less power at the moment, being just back on pump fuel. But either way, this shifts so much faster, and mine is actually had a more recent SST service and teach-in than this one. Mine's only done about probably 3,000 kilometers since I did that, and this car's probably done about, I'd say, closer to 10,000. So yeah, there's no difference to be made if mine was, mine has been serviced sooner. There's no difference there. So this car just shifts a lot better. So I already went for a drive in this car. I don't actually have the SST temp displayed in this car, but already went for a drive around before and got the SST nice and warm. So pulling onto the motorway, I can do a couple of pulls and show you the difference, and that's where this car really does shine. It's got a bit of traffic in front, but third gear, I could only get a third to fourth shift there, but just so much quicker than mine. I'll have to do my loop back around the motorway. It's getting a bit heavier in traffic now. I'll downshift to fourth. Yeah, it's a massive difference. Even though mine wasn't slipping to the extent that it normally does, even still. Yeah, this thing, as soon as I touch these paddles, it is just shifted and smoothly. Alright, so set up the other GoPro in around about the same position. Alright, so here we go. So turn the aircon off. I believe I did that in my car. So stopped on the hill, super sport, and foot on the brake, foot off the brake, and accelerate. See, straight away it went to take off. Still rolls back because it's like a dual clutch gearbox. So foot on the brake again, and I'll try and bend down like I did with my car and show you the revs. So let go of the brake, straight away forward, no sort of struggling. And let's do that one more time. So you can see there's a massive difference. Alright, so taking off from first, do the same thing I did in my car and just shift into second, and then here we go. So yeah, that shifts a lot better, like a lot better. A lot more fun to drive too. Just sort of as well, I know mine didn't do too bad, but just knowing that you can just sort of do that at any time in this car and it's going to perform exactly like that every time, it is a big difference to drive. So I'll try and get one more of those. Didn't get one on the way on the other on-ramp, so I'll try and go back, flip around, do the same thing. But yeah, just big difference. And obviously, like I've mentioned a couple of times possibly, this car being on E85 at the moment, it is making more power, so it is a bit faster at the moment, and it should be slipping more, if anything, but it's actually perfectly shifting every time. So unfortunately, traffic again for this on-ramp. So I'll try and go slow. Get it. Okay, so do one more. Second gear and foot flat. And just shifts every gear so well. Slotted into 6th. So yeah, I think that's about all I'm going to get for the pulls. It's getting later in the afternoon and getting a lot more traffic onto the motorway. Alright guys, so we've made it back to where we started. So yeah, I've done all the driving. What I'll do now is I'll just put all the clips sort of together. So I'll put the black Evo first and then the red Evo afterwards, just in the different areas where I was shifting, where I was taking off on that slight hill, so you can see the difference straight before and after. So I'll do that now. Pulling onto the motorway, let's see how we go. So I'm just going to put it into 2nd and then we'll go. Same thing I did in my car, and just shift into 2nd, and then here we go. So yeah, as you can see, definitely noticeable. Unfortunately, which is weird to say, my clutch didn't slip as bad as it normally would on these type of driving conditions. But either way, it's still a massive difference in the shifting and a even bigger difference in taking off on the sort of hill start type scenario, which if the car is a daily driver, it is very noticeable. It really does annoy me that my car sort of struggles to take off from a hill. It doesn't even have to be a hill, it can be a speed bump, even getting over a speed bump. Or just even taking off on a flat surface, it still struggles a bit more. So yeah, I figured it was a handy video and something I should make before I do get my SST rebuilt, which will be coming soon, which is really relieving because yeah, I'm kind of sick of driving my car with it like this. So yeah, that'll be coming soon. But that's going to be it for today's video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully it was helpful to anyone who's sort of wondering how their SST is, or if they're looking at test driving some and seeing how it should perform. Yeah, this hopefully is helpful. If it was helpful or you did enjoy the video at all, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up below. It would really help the channel. And yeah, if you have any comments, even just to say you enjoyed the video, then yeah, definitely put those below. And if you want to see more videos on these two Evos, some of my friends' Evos and Ralliarts, and just the sort of Lancer platform in general, then definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Would really appreciate that. But yeah, with that all said, that is the end of the video. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.